What's up friends, it's your boy AI Extreme, and today we have a theme, very dear to me, Railjack. I can't stress this enough, most people are straight up ignoring this mode. Meanwhile, it's an actual gold mine. Getting credits, Endo, Relics, and cracking relics are only some of the things that you can do on Railjack. I know it did used to be buggy on release, but they have long fixed it and it's not any more buggy than any other parts of Warframe. But now, let me show you how to make Railjack fun and profitable. We have 4 different roles, the pilot, Cannoneer, away crew number 1, and away crew number 2. Just make sure to have at least one premade. I will explain how the strategy changes based on if you have 2, 3, or 4 players. So let's check the builds. For the pilot we use Harrow. We go absolutely all into strength and duration. We don't care about any other stat. Energy siphon and prime flow for sustain. Also don't forget Harrow's passive that makes you start the mission with full energy so preparation is not needed. Molt Vigor and Molt Efficiency for even more strength and duration. If you're thinking why exactly I chose Harrow for the pilot, well, it's simple. Our third ability will give us insane energy recovery and that's all the pilot needs. Keeping the harmony in the build, our subzoom is Nourish. This will make our sustain become just godlike. The weapons we use on the pilot are purely up to you, but pick at least one weapon that can take care of boarding parties. I usually use the Glaive Prime for this job. If you don't have a Riven, use Gladiator Might instead. It's suggested to play Harrow with at least 2 orange casting speed shards. The school of choice for Harrow is Xenoric, which will, you guessed it, give us even more sustain. And yes, don't worry, I will explain why we need all this energy when we get to the Railjack build. The Cannoneer, our dear Wisp. We got a similar approach like Harrow if we check the mods. All into strength, duration, and we have a little bit more range, not to cripple the build. The subzoom doesn't really matter here, but I decided to take Dispensary since it seemed the most useful to me. Arcanes are the same, Vigor and Efficiency for the extra stats. Corrosive Projection making the enemies just a little bit more squishy. And of course, Fused Reservoir, cause it's a quality of life I can't play Wisp without. Again, the weapons to use on the Cannoneer are up to you, but it's your job to take care of boarding parties as well. School for Wisp is Madurai, we use it to get extra strength and casting speed. And yeah, as for the shards, I have 5 strength red shards. You can't stop me. Away crew number 1 and 2 have same builds but different jobs. I chose Wukong for this role since Cloudwalker will make us very efficient at traversing the map. You could argue that Titania would be better, but these style sets are very awful for her. In my opinion, you're far better off with Wukong. Triple Umbra and Adaptation for survivability, we prioritize strength and duration once again. It's important to have very similar duration and efficiency to mine. Since if you have Xenoric's energy regen active, you can permanently spam Cloudwalker and not run out of energy no matter what. We use Eclipse or Roar so we can speed up the mission by killing enemies faster. I would honestly use anything but Steel Charge, but then we would need to run double Umbra Forma in this build and that's just bad, so we won't be doing that today. Steel Charge is one of the only auras with 18 mod capacity. And now I should probably mention the option of running quadruple power donation in case you actually do have a full 4-man team. This effectively gives everyone in your group 90% more strength, which is pretty good. Lastly, we got Prime Surefooted for status resistance and Arcane Velocity for more fire rate on our secondary weapon. Yes, the gun we use for killing enemies is Spore Laser. The components that make this gun are Spore Laser, Splat and Haymaker. We build it as a standard crit secondary weapon that is also AoE, so we have primed Fulmination to make an even bigger boom. We got Viral, and on the Riven we have multi-shot crit damage and Cold, with minus zoom. This Riven is pretty much perfect, the only thing that would make it better is having Toxin instead of Cold. Packs charge so we never have to reload again, and Merciless for more damage. Faction mods are already overkill for these missions, but if you want to use them, go for it. As for the other 2 weapons, we just have utility. The only thing that's important on the primary is Amalgam Serration for the move speed. Now for the melee we have Pryados. On the evolutions we can see extra movement speed, slide and parkour velocity. These things will all be helpful for going around the map fast. And now the thing you have all been waiting for, the Railjack build. The Aura mod Ironclad Matrix will make our ship more durable. Then we have speed and even more speed. We have Predator and Section Density for crit chance and crit damage. Hyperstrike and Crimson Fugue for more base damage. And one of the most important mods, so the Cannoneer will not hate you, Artillery Chip Shot. With this they will need to reload far less often. Battle mods go as follows. Munition Vortex is here purely for defense if you're getting overwhelmed. Shatterburst is used to break the shields of enemy crew ships. And Secret Volley, this is why we needed all that sustain. We will be spamming this ability, sending Seeking missiles at our enemies. The more we use it, the more expensive it will be for a period of time. Tactical mods. You can use Form Up the moment your teammates finish their job. This will recall them straight back to the ship and finish the mission. Battle Stations is a more offensive mod which should be used if you see a lot of enemies on your screen. And finally Flow Burn, which is used for the extra movement speed. I will not go in depth explaining all of the equipment, but I will show you my setup. In my opinion, these are the best of the available options. Just remember that you can combine the same ones to upgrade them to get them to full power by clicking Valence Fusion here. So the components are all of the highest quality, and I will have 3 by their name. Vidar Shield, Vidar Engines, Lavan Plating, Z-Key Reactor, Z-Key Lathe, Z-Key Vort, and Tycho Seeker. Quickly going through the Intrincists. Honestly, you should rank these up pretty evenly, but there is a really useful one outside of Railjack. At rank 9 command, you basically get to spawn a free Spectre, which can be useful for many situations. Once you get all of them to rank 5, you will start feeling big difference. And don't worry, the first couple levels are very fast. And the Crewmates. If you're not always running in a full squad, it might be worth buying them from Ticker on Fortuna. Give them whatever guns you like. We've gone through the theory, now let's go through the gameplay. You want to look for the highest level skirmish voidstorm possible. Voidstorms are basically fissures, but for Railjack. Higher the level, higher the rewards. So what is the pilot's job? You will start the mission by using Nourish, Wellspring and then Terrible until you have just enough energy to use Seeker Volley. Use Flow Burn while charging for even more speed. Taxi the away crew to where their objective is, kill all the smaller enemies with Seeker Volley, and angle the ship towards the engines of enemy cruise ships, while taking down their shield, if any, with Shatter Burst. Make sure to shoot 2 out of the 3 engines so the Cannoneer can have an easy job hitting the engines. Cannoneer. Drop your buffs from where you exit the ship. These will buff your away crew and give you a speed boost when you're going to reload or buff you in case of a boarding crew. This is why we want so high duration. Once that is done, get in your position. You can press F to switch to a smaller gun to take care of the fighters. As soon as the pilot angles you towards the enemy cruise ship, swap to the big guns and shoot the engine. Remember, engine shot is 100% one shot. It's your job to reload the big guns. Away crew 1. You will do the objective. Go in and hack the consoles. After every console hack, the away crew number 2 will destroy the reactor from outside. As number 1, you will need to hack 3 consoles, and in the meantime it's your job to occasionally kill enemies to get reactant. Reactant is shared for everyone, so as long as you get 10, everyone will get 10. Away crew 2. The moment you destroy the second reactor, either own yourself back to the ship and tell the pilot to taxi you to the extra objective, or fly to it if it's very close. Once everything is done, either own yourself back to the ship or let your pilot port you back with form up. These missions can be done super fast as long as your squad mates have good coordination. Now let's say you have 3 people. Option 1. Pilot and Cannoneer Job stay the same, but the away crew number 1 and 2 merge and one person will have to do everything around the objective. Option 2. Away crew number 1 stays the same, but the pilot will take care of the reactors. Choose whichever strategy you think is better. Warframes stay the same. And lastly, if you have only 2 people, in this case pilot and Cannoneer merge and one person does everything around the ship. The other person does everything around the objective. Whoever finishes first can help the other. In this case, the pilot should stay as Harrow and you should get rid of Wisp. The away crew frame doesn't change. That's gonna be it for today, friends. I hope this guide has provided you with valuable insights and strategies to enhance your Railjack experience. If you enjoyed and want to see more content like this, be sure to like, subscribe and share it with your favorite Warframe friends. And I'll catch you in the next one.